Let's combat, fight back with maltracks. The war of the minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classes. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maya.
A BB Fahodie, a BB to me. Peace to all of my thinkers, truth seekers, and truth speakers. Welcome to another Truth to Power Talk with your sister, Dr. Ma'at. Thank you for joining another powerful discussion. And tonight I have with me another powerful guest. I have our sister, Èzili Dantò, in the building, family, to talk about the crisis in Haiti. To talk about the crisis in Haiti. I know a few weeks ago you heard from our elder, our scholar, Professor James Small, and he gave his perspective on what was going on in Haiti. So before she comes on, family, I want you to take a moment out to thumb up this video. Thumb it up, thumb it up, thumb it up. Also, family, make sure that you share this video. And a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to go on over to my Facebook page. Hold on, because everything I ask you to do, I make sure that I do it as well. So I'm going on over here to my Facebook page. Hold on. And I am sharing. Here it is, family. I'm sharing it in real time on my Facebook page. I'm also getting ready to head on over to Instagram, all right, and go live on Instagram as well. So, family, I want you to join me, and I want you to do the same thing. All right, go to all of your social media pages. If you're on Facebook, post the link. Okay, if you're on Twitter, tweet the link. If you're on IG, share it in your story that Dr. Ma'at is live and provide them with the link. And yes, in your stories, you can hit the button and copy and paste the link in there. So whatever social media platform that you're on, family, please make sure that you get the word out that I'm live. YouTube, and not even just YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, man, they are censoring your girl heavy. Okay. So, sometimes I get a lot of views, and then sometimes, depending on the topic, is like, no, we're not going to circulate that in their algorithm, especially when we're talking about Haiti or what's going on in the Congo or what's going on in the Sudan or what's going on anywhere in the diaspora with our people. They really, really censor us. So take a moment, our family, to thumb up the video. Share this video. Sharing is caring. We want to each one teach one. And the way that you can do that is by simply sharing the video. Also, family, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? Some people have been unsubscribed from my YouTube channel, but that's okay. Head on over to my channel, resubscribe if you've already subscribed, all right? And if you haven't subscribed, and hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you are notified. All right, family. And then make sure that you check out some of the other interviews that I've had. I've created a Truth to Power Talk playlist on my platform, on my channel. So go back. I brought on a lot of great folks: Dr. Malefi Asante, Dr. Wade Nobles, Dr. Darity, Professor James Small, Dr. Kaba, and more. Actually, our guest tonight, Sister Èzili Dantò, I brought her on as well, family. And you already know that when she comes strong. So I want you to thumb up the video, share the video. All right. I do want to acknowledge some folks are in the building. I see my E5 twins are in the building. Peace and love to you, my E5 twins. I missed you, man, at the Shekare Cabrera this past Sunday. Salute to Baba Imhotep to you. We celebrated his life and his existence and his work this past Sunday. And so, E5 twins, I missed you there. I see the Queen Mother Virgo Venom is in the building. Peace and love to you, Queen Mother Virgo Venom. I see my girl, Sister Juju, is in the building. Sister Juju, I hope you're in the building tomorrow, because you got some folks that are banging on STEM. And Brother Ankh said he's going to round up the pseudo killers to be in the building at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on this channel. We're going to address the misinformation that's going around regarding STEM. So I see my sister Juju's in the building. Sister Juju, I'm checking out your work, Queen. You're doing a marvelous job. Keep up the blacktastic work. I see my brother Anthony's in the building. He says a BB Fahodie to you as well, my brother. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to bring on tonight's guest, tonight's scholar, tonight's activist, our sister, Èzili Dantò. So without further ado, here she is, family. Peace and love to you, my sister. How are you doing tonight?
Honor and respect to all your listeners. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm doing all right. You know how like when you're doing the work, you're exhausted, but you keep on doing the work. Ashe, you keep on doing the work, and you know I'm rocking one of your shirts that I grabbed
I almost
off
wore
your.
that one. All right.
Had to, I
There you
had to,
go.
I had to put it on. I actually purchased the one you have in the back that says hashtag free Haiti. I have
Uh-huh.
that one, and then I purchased this one as well, just to let it be known, and everybody knows where I stand and where my position is. Free Haiti, man, free Haiti, and I stand in solidarity with my brothers and sisters right there in IAT. But I reached out to you a couple of weeks ago. I just want to give the people some background information. I reached out to you prior to my trip to Ghana, and I know you were all over the place because a lot was going on in Haiti, and you're a boots on the ground person. This is not You're not a YouTuber. You know, you're not a social media person. You know, you come on social media to disseminate the information, but you do the work, right? You have boots on the ground, you have an organization, and you've been fighting for the freedom of IAT for years. You know what I mean? I want to say decades, but I know for years you've been there, and you're one of the top scholars, one of the top activists over there. Even Professor James Small, when he was on this platform a few weeks ago, he's like, if y'all want to know what's going on and you want to help, you better reach out to Sister Èzili Dantò. So he plugged you a couple of weeks ago. Holla at that sister, you know. And so I reached out to you even before I reached out to him, because I said, you know, you're the person, you're the go-to person when it comes to getting authentic information about what's happening. I tell folks, don't go listen to the media. Go to Sister Èzili Dantò. Go to her page. She'll let you know what's going on. Because as you know, the media is spinning it as if, you know, Haiti has a gang problem. They're sending $300 million over there to help the people of IAT, to help them with this gang problem. They're just trying to figure out and stabilize the country. And that's what they're spinning, right? You know, but we know that that's not the truth. And that's why I reached out to you to uncover the truth. My sister, what is actually going on in IAT? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. I don't know what happened.
A quiet genocide is going on in Haiti, and
Mm,
it's been going on for a long, long time.
mm,
Um, Now they just seem to be sort of like a final solution type of thing. The media has all of these. I mean, they're just changing the narrative. And I can't be everywhere because, there's so much happening. But yes, so what is going on in IT? Well, what you're hearing in the media are almost all lies.
mm,
So here, I'm going to try to break it down during the time that we have here together. So since 2004, that was a bicentennial since our independence, 1804, first Black Republic, after 300 years of slavery. Now they've come back. France have come back, and they've come back, and I want your audience to know this. They've come back as one. One of the reasons we were able to do the revolution was because back in 1791, when it began, the European tribes were fighting each other. So the British, the French, and the Spanish were
mm,
fighting each other to take territory in America and in the Caribbean. So Jamaica, British, Cuba, Spain. Look at a map, folks, okay? This is really important so you know where we're situated, right?
mm,
And which of the tribes were fighting for this most important piece of land. I know most of you already know that Haiti was the most lucrative colony. As a matter of fact, no colony in the world has ever been as lucrative as Haiti.
mm,
The French controlled it. The Spanish was on the other side with Santo Domingo. Originally in 1492, when the conquistador and the pedophile named Columbus, Haiti was the first place. So you can understand, I lead the Free Haiti movement, and my ancestors have been resisting these tyrants 300 years, of enslavement, and now 220 years since we got our independence, they want to come back. These are the most recalcitrant, evil people. I have to constantly brace myself to come and tell you the truth, because the horrors they commit against us will make nature shudder. I am quoting right now our act. Dessalines killed 3,000 whites who were left in Haiti because they still thought that they could continue the revolution even after we won and threw Napoleon out. And I want all of you to remember this. On April 8th, Dessalines' proclamation of liberté, it's liberty or death. And that's what he said to the gathering. And who was there at this gathering on April 8th, 1804, some 220 years ago? It was Africans from all over Africa, from the Congo, from West Africa, from Dahomey, all the way down to Angola. They had been fighting in West Africa, and a lot of them were soldiers. Amongst those soldiers were many women warriors, a few from the Dahomean elite female regiment. One, her name she was a Maroon general, Abdaraya Toya. When she got to Haiti enslaved, she gathered the children together. These are things to remember. And she taught Jean-Jacques Dessalines how to fight in the manner of the warriors of Africa, brought him up to the Maroon bands, taught him all that she knew. She is one of the mothers of our independence. I say that today because today, the women of the Congo, the women of Haiti, we're facing the same enemy all over again. And they're using Africans like Kenya right now, the United States. All right. So you guys know that when you see a policeman kill an unarmed man, how psychologically devastating that is. Imagine how psychologically devastating the wasteland they're making of Haiti right now with militias that they have created, that they arm, how that hurts all Haitians, all Africans. And they are crushing us with these visuals on purpose. Those of you who are interested in real history, this last week, whenever I do an interview, I lift up Bois-Tonnerre, who was our first historian. And I tell folks to go find his work. He wrote it the year of our independence. And as he wrote it, this is what he said. He said, I don't know how to tell you how to retrace the horrors we've just lived. Why, for instance, Dessalines had to kill these white folks after the revolution, because they keep coming back. And now they're back again, totally back. They have come back in the form of 6 nations, because we are the resistance and we fight back. You won't see this in the mainstream media. They will create a man named Barbecue, Jimmy Cherizier, and then they would tell you that he's a revolutionary. Tonight, I will tell you he is not a revolutionary. I will tell you what exactly they're doing. I will tell you how it relates to history, how it relates to Biden, how it relates to immigration. And if I don't, please remind me. So in 2004, 200 years after our independence, we got our independence in 1804. As I said, Haiti was so rich for the French that it produced more money for the French than all 13 American colonies did for England. This small piece of land, because they worked us to death. The lifespan of an African was between 3 to 6 years. And during the revolution, at the beginning there was 500,000 Haitians, or Africans, from all of the different um, spaces in Africa. Today, we are the amalgamated tribes, right? We are all of them. We are the Congo, we are the Oyo, we are the Dahomey, and we are the Ashanti. That's who we are. That's what Haitian is. And the United States sells itself as the land of the free and the land of the brave because, and it hates the fact that we are the land of the free and the land of the brave. We're the ones that abolished slavery. We're the one that stopped direct colonialism. We're the one that stopped forced assimilation. The same instruments of war that they used to conquer West Africa and colonize the world, they are still using today. And let me tell you, sex, they rape our women,
Mm.
they create men that rape our women, drugs, and their guns. So, right now, we don't manufacture guns just like Baltimore doesn't manufacture guns. So they bring
Right.
it into our communities, right? So in Haiti, at some point in time, in the 19th century, the United States and France came back, but they didn't come back directly. Right now, they're not coming back directly. They're asking for Kenya. Think of them as a slave trader on behalf of the imperialist United States.
Mm.
In exchange for coming back and putting and heading a pacification program to pummel and kill and the resistance, the Free Haiti movement, and all of us who are real revolutionaries who don't get any platforms. In order to do that, they go find a black face. Right
Mm.
now, there are, of course, there's the mulatto factor. You all know what they did to us with Obama. They just gave us Hillary and Bill Clinton. They collected $13 billion. There
Mm.
was an earthquake out of nowhere, and they left what you see now, even though Biden and Obama went around talking about with Clinton how they were going to build IT back better. But they left us with cholera that killed nearly, they say 10,000, we say 30,000 people. They left us, and it made, they say, 1 million people sick, we say 3 million people sick, and every rainy season it comes back. So they left us with their feces. What else did they leave us? Between 2004 and 2017, the UN had a mission named Minister. It left between 500,000 to 1 million children. Those are the ones making up the gangs. They have no parents. I tried to sue the UN. Of course, they have immunity.
Mm.
They left us with all of this chaos because they want to disconnect us from the ancestors. So now we have children whose father comes from Sri Lanka, Brazil, Chile, Nigeria, and so on. All the people, all the soldiers who were part of the UN mission. And there's no way, they make no way for the mothers, most of whom were raped by these evil pedophiles, to get any support. So for that, so the population of Haiti right now, half the population is under 24 years old. I've been working to free Haiti, to counter the imperialists and their, since 1994.
Mm.
This year makes it 30 straight years.
Mm.
So when I tell you that it takes me much longer now to brace myself to tell you their horrors, and I have to look at Boisontonnerre in his book because it helps me get through.
Mm.
I suggest that you all read it because he tells you that they are just evil assassins. They trained dogs to eat us back in those days. And today, what are they doing? They're training our own men and children to make Haiti a wasteland. So the media keeps telling you that 80% of the capital of Port-au-Prince are run by gangs. Let's first look at the fact, and I want you all to go Google because the information is there.
Right.
Um, there are between 12 to 10 million Haitians. 70% live in the outback. So they want you to focus on the capital where the European tribes have created a sort of Wakanda, right? They live up in the hills with a few white Syrian Lebanese who control all the ports and who arm the barbecues, the Ezos, the these these gangs. So, and what I'm saying, let me tell you some of the names of who arms these gangs. And oh wow, the United States, when you tell you about the gangs in Haiti, you never see the white faces who arm them. So if you go to my Twitter, I used to write a lot. People don't read, so I don't write that much anymore. But I do have pictures
Mm.
if you're interested. All right. So the most violent, degenerate folks, who they are, right? Look up Gilbert Bigio, Bigio, and his mafia family. These are these are folks that come from Aleppo, Syria.
Mm.
Remember, um, these Middle Eastern folks, these that are in IT, and it's not just IT. They're in Jamaica, they're in the Dominican Republic. They're the buffer races that the European uses. Gilbert Bigio, that's Mateli that you're looking at right now, that the United States put in office um, over, in a scam election back after the earthquake with. But Gilbert Bigio has been sanctioned. If you just Google sanction, if you Gilbert Bigio sanctioned for financing gangs, and you see all their names. Let me see. So that's kind of let me see if I could mm, well, anyway, so let me give you, you can go out to my website, I mean, my Twitter
Mm.
and my IG. My IG is Èzili Dantò. I have their pictures everywhere. If you go to the Free Haiti Movement, I have an album that shows the real gangs of Haiti, not the little street soldiers that they hire who, yeah. Okay, so the most violent, degenerate, murderous gangs in Haiti or the organized crime families, overseers who own, with empire's complicity, more than 95% of the local economy, and they fund these paramilitary death squads that they call gangs that you see now to maintain the instability so that the few whites in Haiti may rule through fake US elections. Oh,
Mm.
now, so this is what they've done. All right. So when when the United States came into Haiti in 2004, they took out the democratically elected president and put him into sent and deported him to Africa. I used to represent him back in 1994 when Bush the father did a coup d'état against him. So what they're doing right now is what they do in Nigeria or what they do with Hamas. They use your own people to divide and conquer. So the division looks like this. All right. Think of Hamas. All right. I know, I maybe some of you might know. I try to give an example that you might associate with. So because Netanyahu doesn't want a Palestinian state, he tries hard to keep division going within the government of the West Bank and Gaza. And the way he does it, right, is by giving advantages to Hamas. And then now, they use Hamas as an excuse to blow the place to Kingdom Come.
Right.
Same thing. Think about this is what they're doing they created Boko Haram, ISIS, Al Qaeda, and now they've created barbecue. They created the other one, Guy Philippe. And so they use these men, right, who are opportunists to oversee their imperialism. Barbecue was a former policeman who is being accused of massacres. He worked for the Neo-Duvalier's government of, they say, Jovenel Moïse, back the president that the United States agents killed. So remember, the U.S. plays both roles. And Africans, you must understand this. They play hero and villain. They destroy your country, and then they want to bring back order. Are y'all with me?
I'm with you.
So how did they destroy our country? I'll give you two examples. So in 2004, during the bicentennial, we had a democratically elected president, and the United States wants to give us the picture of the great Haitian disaster story. So we had the first democratically elected president. All those years, they've been fostering divisions. But on that 200th anniversary, Haiti started a fledgling democracy to try to look after the masses' interests, not the interests of the few. The evil vampires got together and took them out, right? And then they used Guy Philippe, the guy that's on the street right now saying that he wants to be president, right? They used him back in 2004 and said that he was a freedom fighter. The same thing about barbecue now. They don't change, people. The media won't tell you that. Back in those days, in 2004, they told you that Guy Philippe was a freedom fighter taking down a dictator, which they said was Aristide. Total lie. The United States took down Aristide. Guy Philippe was way up in Cap Haïtien, but they used him to create this narrative. And Wolf Blitzer of CNN, just like right now, you see Fox and all these people putting barbecue. For you to understand, back in the day, they have that program, the propaganda program, Mockingbird. But back in the day, before, when Malcolm X came along, they didn't quite understand that media cuts both ways. Malcolm X was a real revolutionary, and they put a microphone in his face. And today we enjoy all the wonderful things that he said to them. They will never put. Remember that. Okay? No hesitation. If the United States and the mainstream media and some of their control opposition, they're telling you they're progressives. Okay? Like yesterday in Democracy Now!, that ridiculous hag, excuse my language, that's called Amy Goodman, put this control opposition named Kim Ives. And he came out and he said that barbecue was a revolutionary in the way of our heroes. So that's what they do. The Haiti is connected. Everyone knows the greatest revolutionaries who ever lived was Jean-Jacques Dessalines. They're doing everything to do a colonial narrative to give you a criminal and call him a revolutionary.
Mm.
They're associating that, and you don't know anything about it, but that's what they're doing. So they call Guy Philippe a freedom fighter, and then when Guy Philippe tried to cash in on all of the promises that his CIA handler had told him, which was he was going to be president after they throw out Aristide, they told him, "No, honey, we're going to bring in a Boko Raton." They just brought in another house Negro, right? And
Mm.
then, but today, and then when he became, when he tried to move up to go to the parliament, they put him in jail with a 9-year sentence for drug dealing. Remember what I told you. The United States uses drugs, sex, and their guns. Okay. Our men seems to not understand that when they give you that gun, they have a dossier on you. And when they want you to do something for them, they'll pull out that dossier or you end up in jail.
Mm.
That's how they do it. So, all right. They put Guy Philippe in jail. Guy Philippe, their freedom fighter. That's where barbecue is going to end up. I promise you. Okay, that's like Charles Taylor. I don't know if you guys remember Charles Taylor of Liberia, right? The United States took him out of prison in Massachusetts and said he broke out of prison. The next thing you know, the CIA had put him as president of Liberia.
Mm.
Okay, they're trying to make Guy Philippe president now. He just was in prison. Biden, he had a 9-year prison sentence. This is their freedom fighter from 2004 that helped give them the blackface cover for taking out the democratically elected government. They eventually used the dossier they had on him because he was threatening to write books about how his connection to the CIA and them are. So they put him in jail for drug dealing or money laundering for 9 years. But Biden released him in 6 years, and now he's in the melee. At the same time, like I said, they're creating chaos. What the way the gang starts is like this. So you have a few white folks. If I can, I'm gonna try to. I don't know if I can, but I will. I'll try. Oh, maybe I can't. Okay, video. Nah. Okay. Um. Let me see. Anyways, if you go to my YouTube channel, excuse me, not my YouTube channel, my Twitter channel, you will see their faces, right? These are white folks from Syrian, Lebanese, Christians who during the end of the Ottoman Empire, the French made a deal with Britain, and just like later on, just like the deal that was made in 1884 for the Berlin Conference, well, they made that deal, and these Frenchmen, right, who are Middle Eastern colonized subject, they brought them to Haiti. Right now, these men, these white men who are Arabs, right, and they try to be like acting like they're not white when they don't want when the heat of what they've been doing comes to them, then they want to tell you Arab, Arab, Arab. But Gilbert Bijou, and all these other men are the ones that are using these hungry men who live in underprivileged places in the ghettos near the water in Port-au-Prince, and they're giving them guns, and they're telling them, for instance, like Braun, these people own banks. So if you put your money in the bank and they want to take it out, the clerks and the folks will tell these men, when you take out your money, and then they will kidnap you, and then they will try to. And so we never had this stuff before. It came to us through the UN mission. Brazil Mexico, Bahamas, these people have more violence than we do. But they're showing you the Haitian violence because we own our land and they don't own us. That's the deal. Look at Jamaica. Jamaica has a state of emergency. Their gangs are, it's the violence rate in Jamaica is something like 53 53 over 100,000, 53% over 100,000, right? IT right now is about 13. So you can see the difference. But they're focusing you on IT because they don't own our land, they don't own our resources. And they need to make it a wasteland like Lebanon so that they can take over, especially the shoreline around Port-au-Prince. They want to take that over. That's where the gang members live. They want to move them out of those shorelines. So what better than to have these militias and call them gangs and have them depopulate the people who the United States can't do that. The UN can't do that. And then they give you this narrative that they're waiting for Kenya to come. It is a lie. Let me tell you. So first, I've told you Guy Philippe and Cherizier barbecue are not revolutionaries.
Revolutionaries, right?
Okay. Second, I told you that Kenya is a mercenary who wants international approval by the European tribes at the UN. So they have agreed to come with their uniforms to help destroy the gangs that the US left us. You see, hero villain?
Mm.
Do you understand?
I understand.
So just like when they took Aristide out, they brought in minister to bring peace and use that time to create all kinds of mess and kill more. We have the most population in the Caribbean. If you take the other 14 Caribbean nations, they have small little populations. We have, I think, the second or third largest population of Black people in the Caribbean, maybe like the fourth, right? There's Brazil, Colombia, the United States, and Haiti, right? We have 13 million people. So, but in the Caribbean, if you put all the Caribbean nations together, we make up 60% of their population. So Ruto asked for 600 million because he's a mercenary. Okay, he's like the mercenaries they used to sell us to the enslavers. So you can look it up. William Ruto, who's the president of Kenya. Okay, this is a guy. Remember, I told you they don't put anybody in front of you or give them advantages unless they have a dossier on you.
Mm.
William Ruto and his policemen are accused of killing Kenyans. That's the policeman they want to bring to Haiti. And William Ruto himself was indicted by the International Criminal Court for war crimes. That's the guy they want to come to bring to Haiti. Right? Plus, we've already dealt with cholera. We do not want Ebola. And they bring all their stuff to us because our people have been on that island and our immune system is virgin. So they can bring stuff to us that maybe other people and other travelers might be able to digest. But our people have been on that island without the ability to move since our independence. Now they've come to diversify us with different blood, not the warrior blood of the Haitian Revolution, and to take over our resources. So, hero, villain. Create barbecue, and then ask Kenya to come and take care of the gangs that are killing Haitian people on the streets. Right? Another sort of thing that they always use overseers, right? So the Syrian Lebanese who own they own all the economic, and how, since the ADOS people are always talking, I can tell you how they do it. They take um the Syrian Lebanese, they'll take a member of the family, and he'll be the general fighting their wars in Syria against Iran, against whoever the United States think is their enemy, right? And then as an incentive, they'll send brothers and other family members to places like Baltimore and Haiti.
Mm.
And then they'll give them loans to have shops in the Black community. That's how they do it. In Haiti, these people have been doing this for so long. Right now, they control 95% of the local economy. And they're the intermediaries whose ships, Colombia is the greatest manufacturer, producer of cocaine. They bring it up through Haiti, Jamaica, Virgin Islands, all the way till they get to Florida, and then it ends up in Baltimore.
Teach.
Meanwhile, you have a slew of Black men who are being compromised on that route, like Guy Philippe, who was a former policeman who gave them the protection. But when he tried to be president and they didn't want him to be president at the time, they took out the dossier. Do you understand? They do the same thing with informants in Baltimore.
Come on, teach.
Okay. All right. So there are 4 different challenges we have right now. We, the resistance. We have a group of Black men that we've never seen before. Imagine what certain Black men are doing in America. That just it hasn't gotten as bad, but it's really bad in Haiti. They sent New York police and other Israeli police to go train our Haitian police, just like they go train African police in Africa. They teach them how to rape. This is what they do, because rape is a weapon of war. And when you rape a woman, you destroy an entire family. And you destroy about 3 generations. You all remember, I mean, they're raping the Congo like crazy. And this is what we've been seeing in the last 3 years. Why do I say the last 3 years? Okay. So the US agents, they kept putting, since 2010, they kept putting fake democracy through fake elections that are then legitimized by the Organization of American State. Organization of American State has lost all its credibility, so now they're using those Negroes at CARICOM.
Mm.
So what they did was, the U.S., even the House Negro, at a certain point, he's like, finds himself beholden to the white men who paid for his campaign, and then to the military, the Haitian police, to keep him from the people taking him out because they didn't elect him. So you would see millions of Haitians in the street, just during the time of Mateli and during the time of Jovenel Moïse. That is the thing all the Neanderthals wanted to stop in Haiti. The millions of Haitians with their drums saying, no, we don't want we don't want this. We want our sovereignty back. They wanted to destroy that. So what did they do? They had mercenaries US mercenaries, Israeli mercenaries infiltrate these gangs, show them how to use those guns, give them guns. Same time, they had white mercenaries in the Haitian police because they were supposedly training them. So they had a reason to be there. So there are white mercenaries from Israel and the core group nations in two places in Haiti today. Listen, if you are a regular street criminal, a so-called gang, right? Oh, you might want to steal somebody's stuff. You might kidnap for money. But the level of rape and the type of institutions that are being destroyed right now is colonial destruction. They are destroying pharmacies, burning down pharmacies, burning down schools, burning down hospitals. That's not gangs. But the US is going to use the gang name to cover it all up.
Mm.
Do you understand? So
Absolutely.
I hope let's get to CARICOM. So the United States, remember the DEA is the greatest drug dealer on the planet. Okay, period.
Absolutely.
All right. So they had Jovenel Moïse in 2021. He was assassinated in 2021. Jovenel Moïse was using gangs to maintain power and keep the people off the street. But people, if you have like 3 million people on the streets, the gangs couldn't do anything. You know what they used to do, and is have snipers, especially American snipers, somewhere in a building to try to create havoc with the crowd. So you'll be walking and then somebody gets shot in the head. So they were doing shots in the head in the demonstrators, right? So the okay. Besides the fact they hate us because we are the human rights pioneers on the planet, right? So they keep trying to pummel us and get it out, right? Haiti has a strategic location that they've made us a naval base. Okay, while they're telling you all this lies that they care about the fact that their own gangs, their own groups are killing the people in Haiti. Opportunist, okay, opportunist criminals, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
At the same time, the United States has the fourth. Some people say it's even maybe, more than that. Could be second sometimes, but I say this fourth largest embassy in the world in Haiti, and they can't take care of gangs. This is the most powerful military on the planet. And no media is going to tell you this. The United States has the fourth largest embassy on the planet in tiny Haiti, right there, right next to Vetolom and Katsamawozo. These different gangs are right next to them, not less than 100 yards.
Mm.
All right, take that. Go Google it. Largest embassy. The embassy is about 10 acres. And the minimum they have in there is 1,000 soldiers. We don't know how many thousands they have now. Remember, I told you they go with the gangs. They'll just put the black face, and then everything, you can't see they're white. Okay, and so we know it's mercenaries because who would destroy a pharmacy, a school, a hospital? Why are they doing it? Like I said, get a map, people. And I say it all the time. I'm getting a little tired of it, but okay. The European tribes have been fighting each other since they got out of their mother's wombs. So you have Russia is in Cuba and Venezuela. Okay, y'all just look it up. All right. Cuba is right next to us. Venezuela is right under us. And we're that naval base where the United States counters Russian expansion in the Western Hemisphere. That's what we are. So if they could get that land with no black people on it, or they're integrated Negroes on it, like those domestic integrated Negroes you just saw at the White House, the Al Sharptons and the Eric Adams, who just sat there at the White House to beg Biden to bring to bring military to help us, the Haitian people, get rid of the gangs. I already told you who the gangs are and who controls them. All right. So it makes no sense that the US, the nuclear power, superpower that it is sitting right there, and then the gangs are right around it, right around it, right like Vito Lom and Mao Zedong, all those people. Mao Zedong, I'll give you as an aside, right? That guy Kim Ayers, this control opposition guy, he's been around in the Haitian community forever. He used to have a WBAI show. I'm glad they took that away from him because he can't speak on behalf of Haitien. But he has spent the last couple of 3 years giving media to barbecue and building him up, him and another guy named Dan Cohen. All right, write this down, you guys. Rewatch this, okay? Because God knows how long I'm going to be here to tell you these stories, okay? And like I said, like Brown Tonnerre said in his book, it's called, try to find it, okay? The academics don't talk about it, but it's called Memory for the History of Haiti, and it's 1804. There's a young brother on YouTube who actually reads it in English. If you just want to listen to him, it's like a 5 parts. You can find it. But in his book, he says, I got to brace myself to tell you all the horrors that they commit against us. And that's what I got to do, because the mental destruction and physical destruction of having to go through this and tell you and then tell it to you, right? So I'm asking you too to take care of yourself, people. Take care of yourself, because all of it is trying to kill your soul. Don't let them do it, right? You got to have a balance. So we are that naval base. The U.S. has something like 10 acres right there in Port-au-Prince. That's as big as the U.S. embassy in China. And remember, China almost has 2 billion people. We only have 13 million. So you see how important we are, right? Okay. So the waterways is the way the European tribes maintain their military hegemony. Okay. This is why Kenya is fighting Somalia. Like any nation that goes out into the ocean, the U.S. must control, because that's how they fight their military wars. That's why they're always, trying to push you inland. Like, for instance, look up Djibouti. Never existed. They created it so that they can make Somalia or Ethiopia, those countries, landlocked. So they can, when they make you landlocked, right? They're the ones going to bring you food. They're the ones that are going to bring you trade. That's what they want to do. Right now, we have a big shoreline, and we're black, and we're right at what they call the Windward Passage. So in addition, I'm going to tell you how much military is in Haiti, okay? In addition to having the biggest, fourth largest embassy in the world, and the largest embassy in the Western Hemisphere in Haiti. And they can't take care of these gangs. They got to go look for William Ruto and 1,000 policemen. And listen, Haiti has 10,000 police. So you see, you see, excuse me, the mind F they're doing to you. Look,
absolutely.
We have 10,000 police. The U.S. has an embargo on on arms going officially to Haiti. They enforce that embargo on the Haitian police. But the oligarchy and their neo-Duvalier's politician have armed the gangs so that they outarm the gangs against the police. Now they want to tell you they're going to get 1,000 police from Kenya. You see that, right?
Absolutely.
Let me make it deeper for you guys. This is why I'm saying, like, okay, excuse me, I need some water or something. They tell you that Haiti needs a security force, another foreign security force. And then they have Canada right now training people from the Bahamas, Jamaica, and Belize, and other nations to come to Haiti, be part of this Kenyan-led force that ostensibly is going to help us with the gangs that the U.S. keep in power. All right. At the same time, right? Remember, Guantanamo Bay is right next to us. It's a big U.S. naval base with lots of military. You guys remember Guantanamo, right? Where they used to put the Al-Qaeda and so on, right? Okay. So Guantanamo is less than 15 minutes away. If the United States wanted to take care of these guys, they could. U.S. Embassy is right there. They could. But let me give you another thing. It's another mind F. Biden has something called, they want to kill us. And at the same time, they're doing it on multi-levels, what we call brain drain. So Biden has a program. It's called the Biden program to immigrate Haitians with some means out of Haiti. Now, I've been doing this work for a long time. I've never seen anything like it. And when it first came out, I was puzzled as hell. I don't know all of it, but I can give you what I think is happening. In the Biden program, to really understand what's going on, you have to know who's in the Biden program. Which countries in the Caribbean are allowed to immigrate into U.S. towns right now? Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua, and Haiti. Wow. If any of you know anything about, can you tell me what the other three have in common? Nicaragua, Cuba, and Venezuela. What do you think, Dr. Mott?
What they have, what all of those countries have in common.
Yeah, except for Haiti. The three, okay, there's four, but Nicaragua, Cuba, and Venezuela. Who do they have in common as an ally?
What, the U.S.?
No, the U.S. is not. Cuba,
Russia.
Russia.
Okay, Russia. Okay, I thought it was U.S. or Russia.
I know you knew that.
No, I didn't. I was just like, which one, U.S. or Russia? But go ahead, Russia.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Venezuela, Cuba. Remember, they've had an embargo on Cuba since 1963 with the Khrushchev and all of that, right? Because Russia got a foothold in Cuba. If Russia didn't have Cuba to help it, the United States would have blown it up to Kingdom Come. But there's a nuclear power right there, Russia.
Right. So you can't do anything. Right.
Okay. Remember, we're right between the two people who have the two, Venezuela and Cuba, who have Russia as a support, economic support, and all of that. Right. If it wasn't for Russia, they would have already taken the oil of Venezuela.
Right.
Now they got to go hat in hand asking Venezuela for its oil. Even after they under Trump, they try to tell you that Maduro wasn't a good president and that they just created Guaido. I don't know if you guys remember that, but anyways, okay. So at the same time as they're telling you we need a security mission that the UN just did a resolution to, not just, but the UN said, they approve it. It's a non-UN Chapter 7 mission. I can't go into the details. It just means they can shoot you to kill you, but they have a UN cover, but it's going to be led by Kenya. And then they're going to put any other little black nation who wants money for their people. They're going to let them come in and do what the F they want to do with us right now. So right now, Canada is training. Do you understand what that means? That they're training Jamaicans to come and help us with gangs? I have no words. Look up the gang warfare in Jamaica. They have a state of emergency because the gangs control the politicians. IT is fighting back. The gangs have always, since the 1980s. And now they tell you this because they know you don't know, that they're going to bring in Bahamas. Look up the violence rate in Bahamas. Look at the violence rate in U.S. Virgin Island. Look at the violence rate of Brazil, Mexico. Look at the violence rate of Kenya. They want, okay, so because they know you don't know, because people are twerking, I don't know what they're doing. Looking at Diddy, right. I have no idea.
Right.
Okay? I'm just saying to you, okay, people wake up.
Right.
All right. So this Biden program allows any Haitian who has a family member in America could send sponsorship and say, I'm going to be responsible for the person. I'm going to take care of that person, and that person will not be a welfare person. They won't take any, like, I'm going to take care of that person. The Biden program says that, they won't go into like any state programs. Okay. So what happens is, okay, what they're doing is siphoning off the income of Haitians who are here. But there's another thing. Okay. So let me tell you, do you know that there is a Biden headquarters inside the police, the Haitian police? A Biden program. You see what I'm saying? The mind F. So they're telling you that we need all of these, black folks and black faces because it's genocide, but they're going to blame it on the black faces. Just like they blame what they just did to us on the UN. It was the US that brought them in. Okay. So, and these Negroes don't have no clue. So Haitian police trained by the United States, they tell us that they don't have any arms to protect the people in the last 3 years. At the same time, Biden creates this program, and there's an office of his program inside the police to exile them to America. What is going on? No media is telling you this, okay? So that means so far, since that program has started, 10,000 Haitian police, and we need them to protect the people from the gangs, the militias, the death squads, right? And they are flying them out to America. Why? So part of it, like I said, it's a laboratory test. They do this thing because they know you don't know what's going on. Right? So, of course, if you're a policeman in Haiti and the US agents have killed your president and you haven't been paid for 3 months, 4 months, and you might die because the Haitian oligarchy is taking the advantage of the chaos to fight each other and take more territory, and you have a sister that's in America or wherever, you say, send me some sponsorship papers. I'm going to work. I'm not going to go on welfare. I'm not going to do any of that. Send me some sponsorship papers. And in those papers, the United States write, if you don't find work, guess where they can send you?
Where?
White boys are not going into the military anymore. They need men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. That's
Mm.
what that immigration thing is about. And you see all those Venezuelans or all those men, if they don't,
Mm.
they're gonna end up as fanning. I can't say that word; it just went out of my head. Cannon fodder in Ukraine
Mm.
or Lebanon. And since 2020, a lot of Americans of all classes and races are looking at their lives like, wow, I am working my whole entire life. And
Mm-hmm.
by the time I get to be 65, I'll probably have some sort of, disease from the awful food and the trauma and all of that. And you die.
Mm.
So a lot of them didn't return back to work. Maybe started their own work. So they need workers in America right now to do jobs that normal Americans who've been living here for a long time don't want to do.
Mm.
Like Tyson chicken, where you spend the whole time with that bird flu stuff. That's why they have. So the United States but they're playing you visually. They're not only playing you visually, they're playing African Americans
Mm.
with these visuals of these people coming to take your jobs or these people coming. Listen, those people are going to end up in Ukraine because you're not going to war. Back in the day, during World War I and World War II, Black men wanted to prove they were human.
Facts.
So they went to their wars. Today, Black men's like, peace. No, thank you.
No, they're not going.
They're not going. Okay,
No.
so guess what? They're taking Haitians and all these other people who have nowhere to go, whose homes they are literally burning. Now they have this crap. Okay, let me just tell you. So, what they wanted to get rid of is the resistance in Haiti. They've done everything to us. I can't tell you how many people that have died.
Mm.
So, in July 7th, 2021, the Haitian president de facto shouldn't have been there in the first place. People were saying, all the right things, like, United States put them in there. Because they want the presidents to sign off our resources. The US wants to make Haiti like Costa Rica, like a place where US military retires and they have a naval base. They just want to get rid of us. Okay. All right. So Jovenel Moise did the unthinkable. Right? He was a puppet of the US government put into office after Michel Martelly, handpicked. They created a whole image around him. They said he was the banana man because they said he had a banana farm. The man used to sell water and mechanical parts. That's it. But they created a vision of him, big businessman, and then they just created the whole thing. And they sold it to the stupid media or the embedded media or the bulletin board of the State Department that the New York Times and all those media are about. And they put him in office. Okay. At some point, the thing about Haitien is that at some point that Dessalines blood comes along and he's like, oh my God, I want to do something for my people. I don't want to just pay these people that put me in office and created this whole thing. So guess what he did? And this is where we have to do, but America had like two cats and they had a baby. Okay, so what he did was he went to Turkey. Get out your map, people. All right, he went to Turkey. Turkey, Russia is right there. The Red Sea goes out to the Mediterranean. Turkey. And he made a deal with Turkey. If you go to Turkey, right, even though Turkey is a NATO nation, it always look after its own interests. and it's kind of like a proxy. He really went to meet with Russia.
Ah,
Within 1 month,
he
he
was
was
gone.
assassinated.
He's assassinated.
So the same people, okay, and once he was assassinated, all his gangs, they used to try to hold the people together. Now they went, what's the word? When you
Dis-
go on your own.
they were dismantled, dissipated. What they?
No. So now that the president, who they used to work for, who used to give them stipends to make sure they keep the people, from doing these large demonstrations,
Right.
right? Now they were freelanced. Anybody could buy them.
Got you. They were
Yeah.
up for sale. They were up for sale.
Yes. Okay. They became freelance. So the last 3 years, we've had these death squads go freelance. Okay. And then all our different enemies buy themselves their little gangs. Dominican Republic. They want someone kidnapped who has money. They go pay one of those gangs. I'll tell you one story. I've spent a whole lot of time with women who have suffered rape from these men, these Haitian men. We've become, like I said, Boko Haram. Can you imagine? Can you imagine knowing who we are? A group of men like Boko Haram, so-called Muslim men, go to schools in Nigeria and take all the women and gang rape them. Something is not right.
It's sick.
Something is not right. So when Haitians started to do that, I'm like, whoa, let me go find who the CIA handler is. So they started in the last 3 years, the gangs have been working for themselves. And sometimes right now, I believe they were fighting each other right on the coastline. The U.S. wants the coast, right? Just look it up. The Gulf of Port-au-Prince. That's where Cité Soleil is. That's where all the slums are. That's where all the gangs are. It wants them out of there. They're just dead men walking, but they don't know that. You understand? I've been here for so long. I've seen Guy Philippe. I've seen them. At the end, when the U.S. is finished using you, they throw you away and find another one.
Oh yes.
So I think, okay, just one last thing with CARICOM. So the U.S. that night, remember I told you that the U.S. presence in Haiti, right? The biggest footprint in the Western Hemisphere of the U.S. military is in Haiti. Okay?
Okay.
Now, they want you to think that 18 Colombian soldiers came up from Colombia, flew into the Dominican Republic, passed the U.S. Embassy, and went and killed the president. And they, who have all the spyware that they have so that they can watch what Russia is doing in the waters in Cuba and Venezuela, didn't know anything about it. Moreover, they now have in prison something like 5 of them, and all of them have connection to the U.S. agencies. When they walked into Jovenel Moise's home to kill him, you guys can find it on the YouTube. They said, "This is the DEA. That's what they said." And the guy who said this is the DEA is a Haitian American who has been for many, many years a DEA informant. The company, the security company, CTU, is in Florida, who hired the Colombian mercenaries. And he's a Venezuelan guy, the same company that tried to take out Maduro, the president of Maduro. Well, they took out the president of Haiti. The people in Venezuela, when those white men came along, they just took their clothes off. You guys can see that, the mercenaries, how they treated them when they caught them. The mercenaries here, remember, the military in Colombia is trained by U.S. So you're gonna tell me they didn't know anything about it? And then the United States, after the man dies or is killed and tortured, right? They come to the Haitian jail and they pick their informants and they tell us they're having a classified trial in Miami against them. And then they tell us that they've been like at least 5 of them. You guys can look them up. I don't want to say their names. They've given them life sentences. We don't know. We weren't in court. We don't see the paperwork.
Right, because it's like you said, it's classified. So
exactly. And okay. Meanwhile, once Jovenel Moïse died, Ellen Lalume of the UN office tweeted, Ariel Henry is now our prime minister. So for the last 30 months, Ariel Henry, who was never elected, nothing, has been our prime minister. He's the one that the US, because he's a little Sambo, is using to go to Kenya and sign. So I have a case against Ariel Henry and the entire sham Haitian government that's not protecting the people. So if you guys want to help me, you can go to my website, EZILIDANTO. The media is never going to talk about it. The complaint is right there. There's also a press PR press release to let people know, the Haitian people are fighting back. So we sued my organization. We sued Ariel Henry, and we said that he has no legal or constitutional or even popular authority to bring in an invasion force in Haiti. Thank you. If you go down, you see it's there. There it goes right there. So, what did the United States do? It created this whole other narrative. So when I also work with the Kenyan lawyers, and the Kenyan lawyers filed a lawsuit against William Ruto. The lawyer his name is Dr. Ekuru Okat. He filed a lawsuit to say that sending Kenyan police to Haiti violates the Kenyan Constitution. And on January 26, a judge in Kenya ruled that to send troops, it's not troops, because they didn't ask for troops, they asked for police. Very important. Very important, your people, you see why. They asked for police. They don't want war crimes. Military, you're going to get war crimes. So Judge Chacha Mutwa of Kenya ruled that it was unconstitutional for William Ruto of Kenya to send Kenyan police to Haiti. To me, that's one of the most important rulings I've ever seen in my life. Because what it did, and that's why we're helping the Kenyan lawyers, right? What it did was overturn the World War II powers, because it was the UN Security Council. Remember, you guys, the UN Security Council is made up of 5 nations that have veto power over 189 others.
You told us 94 the last time.
There's 194 there, right? Minus 5. So
minus 5.
You see what I'm saying? So let's just say, I can't even think of it, but yeah. So 5 of these, there's 194 nations in. Okay, 1 from those 5 can veto everybody.
That's what you told me. Yeah, that's what you told us.
Understand? So you guys know right now that when Africa tried to go independent, the colonies forced them to pay X amount, almost 80% of their revenue to France, for instance, right? So France, Burkina Faso right now, Captain Traore, Niger, Mali, they're all pushing to get France off of their necks,
Mm.
right? And they think that perhaps, the nuclear power of Russia might help. I want everyone to know that when Russia and China had an opportunity to veto this Kenyan mission, it abstained.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
So that's why I say that one Kenyan judge overruled the 5 veto powers.
Mm.
Okay. I hope you guys got that.
Yeah, no. We listening. They're in the chat. Yeah, we
Okay.
listening.
So that was an amazing case,
Right.
right? Because he
Right.
overruled the UN Security Council and said, no, you can't send our policemen. We don't even have enough for the problems we have in Kenya.
Right. Like that was major. That was big.
Okay, so that was very big. Okay. The United States keeps talking to people about democracy and rule of law. Okay. It ignores the ruling as if it doesn't exist.
Mm.
It ignores my case as if it doesn't exist. Okay. So
Mm.
it went, so the Biden election affects different nations different ways. There's Haitian Americans here in America who've told Biden they will not vote, mostly like in Florida, if he doesn't get rid of Ariel Henry, right? The prime minister who has no legal right, and they don't want any invasion force. My lawsuit essentially says that we don't manufacture guns. Canada and the UN have sanctioned Haitian oligarchs, Vob, Braun, Bijot, and Mateli and some other politicians for
Mm-hmm.
financing these gangs. We say sanctioning them is meaningless. Arrest their ass. Because the person who finances the murderer is more culpable and guilty than the murderer, again, the one that
Absolutely.
pulls the gun.
Absolutely.
I say if the United States right now, or France, or Canada, or there's 6 nation in the core group. The US, these are all former nations. They've come together as one, just like the Berlin Conference. But this time they've come together as one because they want to destroy and annihilate Haiti. The US, France, Canada, Spain. Remember Spain? Dominican Republic? Spain. Germany. And guess what? Oh, they always got to find another one. Brazil. Because of the economic power of Brazil in the Western Hemisphere. So they all came together as one in 2004. They're the ones ruling Haiti. They're the ones that have gotten us here. If you go back to violence rate in 2004, before Minister came, our violence rate was 3.2. When they left in 2017, it was 10.2. And today, who knows what it is? We definitely know there's a lot of violence inside of Port-au-Prince. The rest of the other 10 million people, they're holding on. There's what they're telling you, like it's all of IHC. No, it's Port-au-Prince where these 6 vampires are while they're trying to divide our resources. And so the people have been going against Ariel Henry, just like I'm saying in my way. I went to court. The folks in solidarity with us in Kenya, they went to court. I'm also right now trying to do the same thing with the Congo because they have a core group in Congo. What does that mean? Think of the Berlin Conference where all the ministers get together and decide. They're not going to decide what they're going to do with your nation.
Right.
Which one's going to take what piece?
Right.
That's what they do in Haiti. One fist. 6 nations, 3 organization that has all the European tribes, the UN, OAS, and the European Union. They are they have a representative in the core group. So that's what we're fighting, a big dinosaur. So what they did was the people kept because of the Biden election. Hey, and because Haitian American, go to my you can see it. You can see this Haitian American. He's called I think it's like Coalition of Voters for Haitian American Voters. Anyways, they sent a message a couple of months ago to Biden and said, "You will not get our vote in Florida if you don't get rid of this Negro, Èzili."
I thought, but I thought, didn't he make an announcement that he was leaving or stepping down?
Okay, let me tell you what happened. So then, and that's what they said. Okay, so the United States is trying to get out of it, right, or trying to keep us at what do you call that when you're like on the treadmill until, like, you know how, you know, in basketball at the end they kind of bounce the ball, nothing changes, so that, you know, that's what they're doing now. Okay, so how did they do it? So Èzili, the illegal guy, the one you just said, Dr. Mahat, that just resigned.
Right,
but
he
it's
resigned.
okay. All right. All the media is saying that, but I'm a lawyer. I've never seen his resignation. They're just playing us. So listen. All right. And all of you can go and check this out. After this, I think you're gonna be my last interview. I'm done. This is too much.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. No, but we getting ready to wrap up. We got about 2 minutes, but go ahead.
Okay. So what happened was Èzili went to Kenya to sign a bilateral deal to bring Kenyan troops. The US had their gangs block the airport, and then they said that he can't come in. Now, you know, United States could just fly him in if they want, okay? But that's what they said. So he's somewhere in California right now, being protected by the US Secret Service. Meanwhile, the US is using all this time to destroy all the stuff that they want to destroy in Haiti. They went to CARICOM. That's the regional organization of the island states, all these Black Negroes. And they say, CARICOM, help them put together a transitional government. And then when that transitional government is put together, then Èzili will resign. Since then, right, they announced the resignation, but nobody talks about the condition. Mia Mottley and her neoliberal witchy self, all these people are still commonwealths. They still bow to the queen and the king of England. Okay, remember, they never fought for their freedom like we did. So they put together a 7-member transitional government that's supposed to now be taking over to then run elections. But the US have put all of these divergent, remember how hard it is in America to get a bipartisan bill or something like that? Well, imagine it like that. Now they've put like people diametrically opposed, all these politicians, 7 of them, okay, like Lavalas and the Neo Duvaluris and all of them. And they're all fighting each other. And as they fight each other, what's his name? Èzili stays prime minister. Do you understand? Until the transitional government is seated, he's still prime minister.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Who knows what he's signing off right now? What the US wants is, because he's illegal, they want to get all the political parties together, and then they want to have him be the one that inaugurates them. If he inaugurates them, that legitimizes all the damn contracts he signed with everybody that we don't even know anything about. But more importantly, one of the reasons I have so much problems with CARICOM and what they just did to us, they make as a condition for the politicians in IET to be part of the transitional government, a condition is that they have to agree to Kenya invasion.
Wow. Mm. Wow. I mean, I'm over here, Sister Danto, Nana. I'm over here blown away. Like, I just remember back in the day, the older folks used to say, you know, believe none of what you see and half of what you hear. And I think it's at a point where you just believe none of what you hear and none of what you see. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like it's like you said, it's a mind f. I don't want to say the word and get,
Me too. That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
say.
but that's what
Mm.
it, yeah, it is. It's a mind. It literally is a mind f. And like you said, they're putting people up. Oh, these are revolutionaries. These are, they're going against, and it's really, like you said, is to keep Haiti the state unstable or destabilized, to take its resources and to put their government there, or someone that they control. I mean, that's what it's really about. I think that's what you're basically saying in a nutshell, that's
That's
what's
what I'm saying.
happening.
And they're going to
Yeah.
end up with a military government over there. They're just playing these little politicians with CARICOM.
Wow. And
And
so,
all
and
of these men you see on the streets when the United States is finished with them, and I don't know when, they're going to be dead.
they'll be dead.
They're just dead men walking who don't even know that.
So let me ask you a question before we head on out of here. And family, please make sure that you go to EziliDantò.com. And a matter of fact, I've dropped the link in the chat, and I'm also going to put the link on the screen, family. She gave us so much information. This is information that the media is not going to tell you. Head on over to EziliDantò.com. This is where you're going to get the real information. My sister, do you also have a link where we can donate to you, your organization?
Yes, right at the top there. You see where my water is? I think it says there's a donate right there. Where you see me to the right,
Yes.
it says donate where the water is. Go to the right. Go down. You to the side. Yes. You
Where
see
am
it?
I? Look at
No,
it.
no.
Wait, not
All
here.
right. Go down the page. Not right there. No,
Are
no,
you
no.
saying,
No. Right there.
are you
To
saying go? You saying go down the tabs? These
no,
tabs
no.
go along.
Don't go down the tabs. You see me in white with
Oh,
look at
right
the
here, right here. You're saying right here. Got you. To
the
the far
donate.
right.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. To the far right where it says donate in big blue and red. I mean, it's big blue and white letters. So, family, you can come right here, click on the donate button. It'll take you right here, and you can pledge. Look at this. You could pledge $37.50 every 3 months, right? That'll go straight to her organization. And family, for sure, she's doing the work. Please don't call up the Red Cross and all those organizations and send money. This is where you send the money. Right here, family. So, Professor James Small, we were talking about where do you go, right? He was talking about writing, our politicians regarding what's happening in our AT. But he also said that when I bring Sister Èzili Dantò on this platform to ask where we can donate, where we can send money, that we know will get to the people. And this is where you come. All right. So, family, I'm going to drop the link in the chat again. I also will be making a generous donation. And let me tell you when you can expect it, and you can hold me to this, on April the 10th. So on April the 10th, I will be sending, and I'm saying this publicly on three of my platforms. On April the 10th, my sister can expect a generous donation from my family and I. We will be donating. And so, family, I hope that you will donate. Please, if you have $5, $10, $20, $30, let's send it to our brothers and sisters in IAT. Let's get it over there to the people. And please don't listen to these fools online. Black folks need to be, Black Americans need to focus on us. We got issues. Brothers and sisters, we all oppressed. Let's get that here. We are all oppressed, and we're all fighting the same beast. And so this is the time for us to be unified, right? Don't listen to those fools online. Well, this is easily. I know you've seen the foolishness where we need to worry about us. We always worried about. Nah, man. All of us, we are each other. It's no separation. And so people who are saying that stuff to you, family, they are agents. And I'm calling it out right now. They are agents, and that is not who you want to listen to. So, family, make sure you go to EziliDantò.com, learn more about what's going on in our Haiti. Hit the donate button. It's to the far right, family. Is the blue button with the white lettering on it. Hit the donate button, family. Make sure that you donate. My family and I will be sending something on April the 10th to her and her
Can I say something
organization.
real quick before you
Yes,
leave?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Professor Small and I are doing something very spiritual together, and I would love to get all of your audience to assist on Monday, the 8th of April.
All right.
We are going to be drumming for no interference for three things: no interference into IT. And I was raised in America, of course, and I've spent a lot of time helping folks who are political prisoners. But there's one place that I've always told every African American that I speak to that they have to try to move spiritually out, and that's Angola prison. So we have it on my website, or on my Free Haiti Movement, or Professor Small's website. We're going to be drumming for freedom for three things: the prison industrial complex to release the folks over in Angola, because what happened to Black Americans in America, to us, we're the same people. Remember, there's IT inspired revolution everywhere. There's
That's right.
IIT North Carolina, IIT Mississippi, IIT. There's just look it up. It's HAYTI. You'll find at least 7 places where old Black communities name their communities IT.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What you're saying is facts.
Okay, so what I want to tell you is that the European went straight from plantation to prison in Angola, and we have to break that cycle there. So we're going to be drumming for that, for the shutting down of Angola prison in Louisiana, for all, because it's going to hurt my heart when Mumia dies in prison.
Come on.
Okay, enough is enough. Too many of our great ones have spent 65 years of life for us, so that we can have a bigger voice. So I beg you and ask you, if you're not doing anything, or even whatever you're doing, stop on it's on the total eclipse. It's the day of the total eclipse, and it also happens to be the day of Dessalines' proclamation. Go to my Twitter, read that proclamation. He describes who they are. They are still that. He gives you that as your heritage, as where to stand. That's Dessalines' proclamation. It was written 220 years ago, April 8th, 1804. We're going to be drumming for our sovereignty and calling the ancestors for the millions of Black women being raped in the Congo, for all our resources that are being taken in Haiti, the Congo, and what they're doing to our African folks in America.
So you're saying so because I got a djembe downstairs. So you're saying at what time? So what time?
12 noon in Eastern time, and then there's the flyer says it's at the highest time of the sun.
Got you. So you saying stop what we're doing and just go?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Because there's a sound war against us too. So I won't even go in there right now, but please, okay, please. It will mean a lot. And even as you're doing it for the world, as you're doing it, calling your ancestors, all of them, Malcolm, Garvey, Dessalines, the Mau Mau, all of them, the Congo women, the Dahomean women, we're lifting up all of them. And we're saying now is the time to come into this planet, because my people need it right now. So thank you very much, everybody.
No, thank you. Hold on, I got to do this.
Fire!
You came and spit that fire tonight, Nana. You came and spit that fire, and we appreciate your time, your energy, and your wisdom. And I just want to say this too, and I want to say this to the people, because you said, this is my last one. I don't think people understand how mentally, emotionally,
Draining.
physically, yes, and spiritually draining it is for you to come and give us all of this stuff. This is like it's like you're reliving it over and over and over again. So I know you want to come and get the information out, but I want the people to understand how it's a lot. It's a lot. And so that's why I couldn't leave without honoring you and thanking you for your time, your energy, your wisdom, and your activism. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. I want you and family. We can show our appreciation not only with our mouth, 'cause a lot of people do this, but with our resources. That's how you show your appreciation. I always tell
Yes.
folks, love ain't what you say, is what you do. I don't want to hear you keep telling me you love me. Show me. Show me in your actions.
I have
Show
a
me in your
YouTube
deeds.
channel. Please go to that YouTube channel. You'll find
Subscribe.
more of this.
Yes,
And just
subscribe,
bring up
family.
for a subscription because they shadow ban me.
Oh, yes, they're doing that to a lot of authentic Black voices. You
Okay,
won't
they
even see
shadow
that.
ban
Yep.
me.
Yep.
So you'll see like maybe 100 people, and I've spent so much energy on one interview. So please go bring up the numbers for us at It's My
Absolutely.
Name YouTube, please.
Family. So go to Èzili Dantò on YouTube. She's on YouTube. She's on Twitter. She's on IG. And she has her own website to me, which is powerful. Because guess what? If they were to take these social media platforms down today or tomorrow, we can go right to EziliDantò.com and research her, connect
Oh
with
yeah,
her. So, family,
oh
make sure that you subscribe to her YouTube channel. I know you want more of this fire. Go on it, go over there. I'm going to your Twitter because you said you put up, pictures and all kinds
yeah.
of stuff. So
Go
I'm
there.
I'm going to your Twitter page just to educate myself more on what's happening. And family, make sure when you go to the website, you grab one of these t-shirts.
Yeah.
I started to rock the other one in the back, the hashtag free Haiti. You had the long sleeve one at the time, and you were selling the long sleeve version of it. But I said, I'll just throw on my you my my my,
That's
my
your honor and respect.
okay.
That's what we're
Absolutely.
gonna do. That's
Absolutely.
it.
And I'm gonna
That's
wear
what
my
gives
shirt.
me courage.
Look, and I'm gonna wear my shirt on Monday when we
Thank
drum. And I'm
you.
actually gonna wear it to work and take my djembe to work. So I'll be at work doing 12 noon.
Please.
So how long do they want us to drum for? From 12 to what?
They say 12 to 2, but just do what you can.
Okay.
If you do nothing else, make sure you get that proclamation and think of the women in the Congo and think of the brothers and sisters who are in Louisiana. They have families that
Mhm.
generation after generation, they put them in the same place.
Okay.
And the white guards,
Mhm.
generation after generation since slavery. We've got to stop that.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I'm there. I'm there. So I'll be definitely drumming. I'll just have to take a break. I'll be at work. I'll be rocking my shirt. And like you said, just taking a moment
Whatever
out.
you have,
Yeah,
you just have whatever you have.
absolutely.
Just call on those ancestors and also for yourself. Remember, we have to self-care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you, speaking of self-care, you go get some rest. And I'll text you tomorrow when I'm on my way to work just to check on you because I know tonight was a lot. So again, I appreciate your time, your wisdom, your energy, and your activism. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my sister. I did it for you. You're
Thank you.
wearing that and we're in respect.
I appreciate that, my sister. Peace and love.
All right, bye-bye.
Family, you heard from the great Èzili Dantò. And that was an honor just now when she said, I did that for you. That was an honor. Okay. That was an honor. Because if you notice, she doesn't do a lot of interviews. She doesn't go on everybody's platform. So for her to come on this platform tonight and then end it and said, I did that for you, real recognize real. And I appreciate that, sister. Family, before you get out of here, make sure that you thumb up the video, family. Take some time to thumb it up. Shout out to Sister Juju, Sister Tamika. I see the moderators were in the building tonight. Thumb up this video. Thumb it up, thumb it up. Also, family, share this video. Again, you want to each one teach one, and we can do that easily in 2024 by sharing this video. Also, family, subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you will be notified. And also, family, I want to shout out my brothers and sisters who are watching on YouTube and who are also watching on Instagram. There were like a lot of folks watching on Instagram, and I appreciate you because you could have been anywhere tonight, but you were right here with Dr. Ma'at, with Sister Èzili Dantò. And so I appreciate that. We appreciate you giving us access to your mind and your time. Ashe. So family, join me tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be going at, I'm going to address some things that my brother, Dr. Jared Ball said, him and his crew. Shout out to brother Geechee Ya and Baba Diallo. So those brothers had some things to say about STEM. And we're going to address that tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in the words of the young folks, make sure you pull up tomorrow. All right. And if you don't, have a beautiful Blacktastic weekend. Peace, Black power, Black excellence, a BB Fahodie, a BB Toomey, a BB Wawan.
Let's combat and fight back with maltracks. The war of the minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classes. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maya.